Hi, thanks so much for tuning in for our gentle mat yoga practice. Today, we will be focusing on the use of mantra. So, mantra is a Sanskrit word, and man, like, piece the meal apart, word apart, right? Man translates as mind, and tra is an instrument. So a mantra is an instrument to help train the mind. So it's a word, a thought, a phrase, something that you repeat over to keep the mind busy, right? To keep it occupied, to calm it down. Just like we use asana to do the same thing with the body, we'll do the mantra to help quiet the mind. We'll be using that in a couple of different ways today. We'll start with our opening meditation that I'll try to kind of thread through the rest of the class. And then at the end of our practice, we'll save about the last like 6 or 7 minutes, and we'll do a mantra and a mudra meditation where we'll use the hands, and this is a satanama meditation. So we have that to look forward to at the end. But please start by taking a comfortable seat. You may like to have a belt or something that you could use for stretching. We might be using this a little bit. So if you don't have a yoga belt or a strap, then a necktie, a scarf, something like that works fine as well. Right. So sit up tall. You can let the hands rest on the thighs or in the lap. And if it's comfortable for you, let your eyes soften and close. We'll take just a moment to tune into the body. So as your eyes close, notice what you notice. What is it that's drawing your attention in? Notice the places of your body that are touching your mat or touching the floor. Maybe the feet, calves, thighs, sit bones. Temperature of the air against the skin. And what else do you notice? Excitement, boredom, stress. What are you thinking? And we do this tuning in so that we know our starting point, so we can settle in and arrive. And even though we're sitting pretty still, there is movement. Do you notice the movement in the breath? Bring more awareness to the breath. It's watching the breath doing its breath thing, just as it was before you started watching it. Just keep watching the breath. It's moving, right? It's expanding, it's contracting. It might even be making noises, right? Let's take a full deep breath in now through the nose. And as you exhale, part the lips and sigh it out. Just like that again. In, sigh it out. Let go even more. Feel the shoulders soften. Now keep the lips closed and keep breathing in and out through the nose. And can you start to hear the sound of the breath? So when we inhale, you might hear the sound of so. And as you exhale, the sound of a hum. Another Sanskrit term, so hum, is a mantra that your breath has been repeating, excuse me, since the moment you were born, since your very first breath. So hum. And so hum translates as I am that. That referring to just everything in the universe. The Soham mantra is a really great tool to use to help quiet the mind. To give something to the mind to think about so that we can put more space between the thoughts. So as you inhale, hear the sound of so. And as you exhale, hear hum. I like to use the Soham mantra as well to layer my intention into. So, as I set an intention before yoga practice for today, can you allow that intention to be just a word, just one word? Maybe today we're working on cultivating more compassion, more patience, more flexibility. Maybe just believing in ourselves more. Maybe a word is enough. Find a word that resonates with you today. And as you inhale, I am. And on exhale, your word. Inhale, I am. Exhale, your word. I am. Patience, compassion, enough. And just keep floating your intention with your breath. We'll stay here for just a little bit longer. As we get ready to move a little bit more and move through the rest of our practice today, I invite you to stay with this mantra, to stay with this breath. I am on inhale and your intention on the exhale. And each and every time that you notice your mind has wandered off being present, right? You've started to go down memory lane or revisit emotions or whatever it happens to be, making a list. Just acknowledge that you've wandered and come back to your mantra, back to your breath. Just using it as a tool to help us stay anchored in the present. Using our mantra as a tool to train the mind. Please let your eyes softly blink open. If you are sitting cross-legged, please change the cross of your legs. I'm sitting up on a cushion. I'm also going to remove my cushion right now, but feel free to stay however you are, just changing the cross of your legs. We'll stay seated for a little bit. We're going to do some things for the shoulders and the arms before we do some other movements, okay? So let's start by just sitting up tall. And hands out on your knees. We'll do a few cat and cows seated. So arms extending, we'll take an inhale, pull the heel of the hands back and lift the chest. Turn your gaze to look at the ceiling. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone and round. Now you can either look out in front of you at the floor or tuck the chin to the chest to get a deeper stretch to the back of the neck. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, round. Please take 2 more. Inhale, up tall. We'll take some other movements for the spine. Let's take a lateral bend first. Please take your right hand to the floor in line with the hip and extend the left arm up to the ceiling. Reach it up tall as you exhale. Lateral bend over to your right. So left fingertips are reaching to the right. Left ribs, left hip are reaching out to the left more. Feeling more space, making more space in the left side of the body. Good. Let's inhale, bring yourself upright. Let's go to the other side. Left hand will come to the floor, right arm reaches up. Inhale, exhale, lateral bend over, stretching. Let's take a few of those flowing with the breath. So we inhale, upright, both arms up. Maybe you even watch the palms touch overhead. And then exhale, lateral bend to the right. Inhale up tall, reach. Exhale to the left. Once more, each direction. Up. Up. And to the left. How about we take this into a twist now? Inhale up tall. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale up tall. Reach up. Exhale to the left. Keep flowing with your breath. We'll go 2 more times each direction. So as you're twisting, go up that spiral staircase, right? From tailbone up to the crown of the head. So the tailbone is the first to move and the head is the last. Once more, to the right, up. Good. Inhale all the way up and then lower the arms down. Let's take the hands back behind you. Planting the hands, roll the shoulders back and lift the chest. Feeling this nice opening through the front of the body. And let's release that. Take the arms, stretch them out wide like a T. As you exhale, just gather everything up and give yourself a nice hug. Good. Inhale, open out wide. Exhale, cross the arms again. This time do it the opposite way. So opposite arm is on top. Give yourself that hug. Inhale. One more time, each direction or each cross. Good. Just gather it all in. And up. And then lower the arms down. Take the feet out in front of you. Let's incorporate the feet and the legs. We've been sitting like that for a little while. So let's move some of the stuff out there. Just have the feet nice and wide. Just let your hips go side to side a few times. Great. I'm going to come to sit up on my feet in Virasana or hero pose. If you'd like to stay cross-legged, feel free to do that, or even sitting up on a block. So sometimes this can be a bit of a challenge for some of us for any reasons, knees, ankles, feet, whatever. A great little tip, if this is a problem area for you, if you've got a yoga block or firm cushion, you could put that right between the feet and give yourself something to sit on that can relieve some of that pressure. Or again, just come to sit cross-legged. We'll do some things for the shoulders right now. So this is where you might want to have your belt handy, just in case you'd like to use it. Right, we'll start up nice and tall. So let's begin by taking one hand, bring it to your belly, and take the opposite hand, the back of the hand, and just at the low back. So sit up tall and let your eyes softly close. So, I want you to bring some awareness to your posture. Most of us have a tendency to either lean forward or lean back as we come upright. So, without judgment of where you are, just lean yourself ever so slightly forward until you feel like maybe you'll even feel the stomach muscles relax and the back kind of kick in to hold yourself upright. And then float yourself back a couple of inches until you notice the opposites, right? The front of your body is kicking in a little bit more than the back. Now find a place where you're right in the center. So we're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back. We're about as upright as we could possibly be. And then release the hands back to sit out on the thighs. Now allow your right ear to drop to your right shoulder. So I'm not shrugging the shoulder up. Keep the shoulders, both of them drawing down. Just allow the ear to drop to the shoulder. Now, we'll do this stretch in stages. So feel free to stay at any point if it feels good for you. Right? And that's kind of your sweet spot. Now, from here, feel free to, you could play a little bit. Like maybe for you, it feels better if you lift the chin an inch or drop the chin an inch. We're just looking for some sweet spot of stretch across the top of your left shoulder. Now, we could add on from here if this is feeling really comfortable for you, breathing is calm. You might take your left arm and extend it out to reach to the side. So I'm at a diagonal toward the floor. My fingertips are open wide, so the arm is pretty active. And again, feel free to float the arm back or forward a few inches until you find your sweet spot. What I like to do from here is actually turn the palm forward. So my thumb points up and the pinky down, keeping the arm really open. This usually allows me to feel this great stretch. There's a nerve that starts up here in the cervical spine, the median nerve. It travels through the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, and supplies nerve endings to the thumb and the first 2 or 3 fingers. So you might feel that sensation travel all the way down the arm. And then one more thing you could do to add on, if you like, take your right hand and just bring it to rest up above the left ear. Now, I'm not using the hand up there to yank the head down farther. It's just weight and warmth. Okay, now listen carefully to release. Take the left hand, bring it back to the thigh first, and then right fingertips come just above the right ear and use the right hand to help ease the head up. So we're not energizing all the stuff that we just stretched over here on that side. Just pause for a moment, maybe even closing your eyes, just tuning into the effects of what you just did. Do you notice any slight differences, right to left shoulder, maybe even all the way out into the hand? Do you feel difference? All right. Let's take that to side two. So sit up tall, find that space where you're not forward or back, okay? And as you sit tall, take left ear to left shoulder. Left ear to left shoulder. Keep the shoulders drawing down, spine nice and tall. Find that sweet spot. This is really great. Like, you ever have those mornings where you wake up and I don't know, you just had the pillow crunched the wrong way or something, fell asleep odd. Maybe we're just carrying so much weight on our shoulders. This upper body, this neck, this schneck area has a tendency to get really tight on us. All right, let's add, if you like, add the extension of the right arm. So it's at a diagonal toward the floor, reaching through the fingertips. The fingertips are open wide. Find your sweet spot. Remember, you can float the arm forward or back if you like. Turn the palm forward. And then one more layer, if you like. Left hand just above the left ear. Are you remembering to come back to your mantra? Listen, hear your mantra, hear your intention as it just kind of floats on the breath. To release, right hand comes back in first, left fingertips just above the ear, and just help ease the head up. Release the hand down. How about some nice, easy shoulder rolls? Lift those shoulders up, back, and down. Let's go the other direction. Sitting up tall once more. Lift your chin. Just turn, look up to the sky. Not so far that you're crunching the back of the neck. So keep lengthening up. Just look up, stretch up. And then on exhale, slowly bring the chin forward and then down. I'm not rounding the back or the spine, just the head, the neck. Lift the head all the way up. Turn just the head. Look over your right shoulder. Come to center. Exhale, go the other direction. Turn to look left. And then inhale, come back to center. Great. All right. Let's grab your belt. So mine's a pretty long belt, so I'm going to fold mine in a bit so it's a bit shorter. And I'll hold the belt in my, and sometimes gets confusing to look at the camera. So just watch what I'm saying, okay, even if it looks backwards to you. And I'm going to turn, I'm actually going to turn backwards to you. So I've got the belt in my right hand and my right arm is stretched up to the ceiling. Now, bend the right elbow so the belt drops down the middle of the back and right elbow points up toward the ceiling. Take my left arm with the palm facing behind me, just like we did when we were finding how upright we were. And I'm going to reach behind and grab the bottom of the belt. Now, if in your body that left shoulder kind of dropped forward, which it's very common for it to do, think about taking the left shoulder up, back, and down. And just maybe the left hand can walk toward the right. Just stay here and breathe. Hopefully feeling some nice stretch to the back of the right arm, as well as the front of the left shoulder. Back to your breath. Keep your right elbow pointing up. Slide your left hand all the way down the belt until the left elbow is extended straight, and then press the left hand away from the back, just stretching back, deepening the stretch to the back of the upper arm. Great. Release that left arm back down and release the belt. Bring yourself around. Let's note what that feels like. And then we'll take this on the other side. So the belt will go up into the left hand. Belt is up overhead. Bend the elbow, belt drops down the middle, left elbow points up toward the ceiling. Right hand, reach it back behind you, catch the bottom of the belt. Right shoulder, lift it up, back, and down. Maybe the hands walk closer together. Just take a few moments, couple of breaths here. Keep the left elbow pointing up. Slide the right hand down the belt until the right elbow is extended, and then press the right arm away from the back. Releasing the arm from behind, and release the belt. And you can set that belt off to the side. Let's come on over onto our hands and knees, please. And get off the feet. So come on to hands and knees. So we did cat and cow seated before. Let's do a couple of cat and cows here on all fours. So your toes could be pointed or curled under. I usually like to point mine. It feels a little bit better on the knees. So we'll inhale. Heel of the hands slide back as you arch the spine and look up. Good. As you exhale, you push the floor away and look back to the thighs or the belly. Inhale, lift the tailbone, belly drops, cow pose. Exhale, round like a cat. Inhale. Exhale. Good. One more in. And exhale. Let's send your hips to your heels for child's pose. So just stretch yourself all the way back. You might bring the hands to stack right here. Let the forehead rest. Tuning back in. Tune back into your breath. Even though the body is still, the breath is still moving. Watch the breath. Stay connected. Hear the sound of it. Hear your mantra, just floating on the breath. Let's add a little movement here now in the body. So we'll stay in child's pose, a kneeling sun salutation variation. So sweep your hands back by your feet, please. If forehead reaches the floor, that's great. If it doesn't, you can keep the forehead up. All right, on an inhale, you're going to push down firmly through the feet and the shins and bring yourself all the way up. Reach to the sky. As you exhale, bow, arms forward, hips back for child's pose. On inhale, glide forward for cow pose. And then exhale, child's pose, sweep the hands back. Let's do just a couple more of those. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bow. Inhale to cow. Exhale to child's pose, sweep the hands back. Please continue on your own, flowing with the breath and your mantra. One more, please. Inhale. Return to all fours. Take your right foot, step your right foot forward up to the hands. Let your hips drop forwards. We're now moving into more movement for the hips. Hips drop forward so that you're feeling stretch in the front of the left hip and thigh. Adjust so that as you drop the hips forward, the knee, the front knee, the right one doesn't go beyond the toes. I like to keep it right over the ankle. And your choice, whether you have hands on the floor, you could bring in your yoga blocks if you have them. Bring the ground up a little bit higher towards you if you like as well. Let's add some movement here. On exhalation, the hips go back and the right leg lengthens out. Right, so we're lengthening out over the leg, feeling this really great stretch to the back of the leg. Let's inhale, shift forward, look up. Exhale back. And forward. And back. One more. Now forward, and then we'll switch sides. The right leg will come back, and the left one will step forward. Take a moment to position yourself left forward enough that when the hips come forward, we keep the knee about stacked over that ankle. Again, either hands on the floor or on blocks, books, anything you have, water bottles. Let's exhale, shift back. So coming back to that movement. Inhale forward, exhale back. Last one, flowing. Shift forward, and let's take that left leg all the way back. Good. Return to child's pose, this time with toes curled under. So send the hips back. Just getting a nice stretch to the bottoms of the feet. The toes will be coming up to stand in a moment. Please return to all fours. Keep those toes curled under. Take a very brief downward facing dog. Press into the hands, lift the hips up, and send them back. So the knees are pretty bent here. Tailbone is reaching up high. And please walk your hands to the back of the mat, all the way back. Nice deep bend in the knees. So we have the hands, the arms reaching to the floor. Let the head weight drop down. Place hands on the shins. Inhale up halfway, look forward. So Ardha Uttanasana, or half lift. As you exhale, release all the way back down. So we're going nice and slow. Let's come all the way up this time. Find your halfway point. So hands on the shins, flat back, then continue inhaling. Push the feet into the floor and reach the arms up. And bring your arms all the way down. So from standing, let's step your right foot forward. And we'll start in a high lunge. So I've got my trusty wall right here to help with balance. But the right foot's going to step forward, so your right toes are facing straight forward, and you're on the toes of the back foot, so I'll keep the heel lifted. Now, oftentimes, if we pop up to this shape and then we straighten that back leg right away, it can cause us to get a little archy and pinchy in the low back. So this is how we release it. Bend the back knee. As you bend the back knee, you'll kind of feel how the hips and everything release. Now, tune into the abdominals. Draw your navel back to the spine and up to the ribs. That'll engage this wraparound muscle to support the low back. Now, maintaining that, begin to straighten into the back leg, pressing back into the heel at the same time. You're bending the right knee until the right knee is just over the ankle. Now our legs are really active here. We're pushing down into the feet, and then find this scissoring action, like your right heel and your left heel are squeezing together. You really feel this fire up the inner thighs, help you to stay tuned into the low belly a little bit more. Now you decide what happens to the hands. You could keep the hands down, more stable right here on top of the right thigh. You may bring hands to heart center, or perhaps the arms reach up to the sky. Now we're holding a more challenging posture, so there's stillness in the body, still movement in the breath. As you tune into the breath, come back to breathing life into your intention. Let's lower the arms down, hands to your hips. And now spin your left heel flat. We'll come into warrior one pose. So the left heel is spun flat. Keep your hips pointing the same direction as the right knee. Sometimes what I need to do is give myself a little bit more space. So I'm going to heel toe my right foot out to the right just slightly so I have a wider base of support. Now in warrior one, back leg is really super powered up. So I'm going to press the leg straight. Pinky toe side of the foot's really pressing down. And then as the right knee bends, just until it's over the ankle, lift the front of the hips, and perhaps arms reach up to the sky. Back to your intention. Lower the arms down and pivot on the back foot, lift the heel again, and then step yourself forward. Shake the legs out. Now, if you just turn around where you are on your mat, we'll step forward with the opposite foot. All right, so now we have left foot forward, right leg back. So lunges first. So position yourself first. So you're facing the short end of your mat. You're on the toes of the back foot. So we're going to fix all of this by bending the back knee a little bit. Feel the hip release. Lift the low belly. Maintain this abdominal control and then push back into the heel, straightening out the leg. And then left knee bends just until the knee is about over the ankle. Find the right positioning for you. Either stay here with the hands on the front thigh. Again, variations, options, hands to the heart. Or maybe arms up. What if this time we went to cactus arms? The elbows bend and lift the heart. Maybe your gaze turns up. Maybe the corners of your mouth turn up. Inhale, those arms reach back up high, and then lower the arms down to the hips. Spin your back foot flat. So we'll start that transition to warrior one. We want the hips facing the short end of your mat, the same direction as the knee. So again, just like we did on side one, usually I need to give myself a little more space. So I'm going to walk that left foot to the left a bit more, making sure your back toes are angled about 45 degrees. All right, power up the back leg, firm into it. Pinky toe side of the foot presses down, firm into that back leg, bend the front knee until it's over the ankle. Lifting the low belly. Reach the arms up high. So the arms go up, spine goes up, heart lifts. And what if we add the cactus arms from here? As the elbows draw down, the heart lifts even more. Let's inhale, reach the arms all the way back up. Lower the arms down, pivot on the back foot so we're back to the toe, and then step yourself forward. Shake those legs out. Let's find mountain pose, Tadasana. Feet parallel, root down through the feet. Press down through the feet. So legs get really active here. Take an inhale, stretch the arms up overhead. I noticed that I'm kind of coming off camera. Take the arms, interlace, or not interlace. Take your left hand to the right wrist, turn the palm up, and then we'll take a lateral bend over. A lateral bend over to the left, stretching the right side. Let's inhale back up tall, change hands. So now right hand will grab the left wrist and then up and over. Good. Inhale all the way up tall and then lower those arms all the way down. We can do a couple of shoulder rolls here. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Maybe go the other direction. All right. How about a little standing back bend? So mountain pose with your feet. Take your hands to the low back so the fingers are pointing down. Notice how when you do this, it usually causes those shoulders to dump forward. So we'll take the shoulders, lift them up, back, and down. Notice how the elbows kind of reach toward one another now. So squeeze the elbows together. And just as we've been doing today, we'll engage those abdominals. So lift the front of the hips, lift your chest as you inhale, lift the heart, turn your gaze to look up. So just gently kind of pulling on the back of the hips or pushing the back of the hips down, tailbone descending to your heels as you lift the front of the hips. And exhale, let's release the arms down, release those shoulders, just kind of shake the arms out, shake the legs out if you like. Let's come all the way down onto our mats. In fact, come onto your backs. We'll do a brief hip opener and then a twist before we come back up to sit for our final meditation. So go ahead and lie down on your back. Feet to the floor, knees bent. Pick up your right foot, cross your right ankle over the left knee. If this is enough stretch for the outer hip, feel free to stay right here. If you want to take it a little deeper, pick up the left leg and interlace behind the left thigh. Slowing things down again. As the body gets still. Not sure if it's the mind gets busier or we just notice it more because we're still. But it's a great opportunity for that tuning in. So when you notice the mind is busy and you've gone off on a memory or write a list, just come back to your breath, come back to your mantra. Let's exhale, release down. We'll switch sides. Left ankle up over the right knee. Either stay here or pick up the right leg. And on an exhale, release down, uncross. Let's hug both of those knees in towards your chest. You can rock a little bit side to side. And then let's drop over into a twist. Let's drop both knees over to your right. Left arm can reach farther out to the left. And feel free to adjust the position of the left arm so you get the sweetest feeling stretch across the front of the shoulder. We've done a lot of things for shoulders, neck, the schneck today. Hopefully you're left feeling a little bit lighter today. Let's inhale, untwist, hug the knees back in. And then we'll twist the other direction. Both knees drop over to the left. Right arm reaches out to the right. And on inhale, we'll untwist. One more hug of those knees into the chest. And then as you're ready for Shavasana, lower your feet and extend your legs out. We'll take our brief Shavasana before I bring you back up to sit. Let the arms come by your sides. Softly close the eyes. And what do you notice as you close the eyes? Tune back in. What are you sensing? What are you feeling? What are you thinking? And then please come back to your breathing. Just watching the breath. Just let everything rest now. Take a deeper breath in now. Just calling yourself back from wherever you just were. Inhale again. Wiggle fingers, toes. Bend the knees. Hug them in. And then roll to your side and press yourself up to sit. So you may sit cross-legged for the final meditation, or you can sit up on the feet if you like. If you're watching this video at home, feel free to go sit in a chair. So this final meditation is Satanama. So this is an ancient meditation. They've found records of it, of monks doing it in caves thousands and thousands of years ago. So it's not only a mantra, so we say the words, but it's mudra as well. A mudra is a gesture of the hands or body. For today, it's just hands. And we also get a little sing-songy. So we recite the mantra as we do the mudra. So it's sa, index finger and thumb, ta, middle finger, na, ring finger, and ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. Now, sounds like this. Sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. As you can imagine, the mantra and the mudras have meaning. So it is said that when you perform the mudra, it's sealing that intention into your consciousness. And the meaning here is for sa, that's knowledge or wisdom. Ta, the middle finger, is patience. Na, ring finger, vitality or vigor. And the pinky finger is consciousness, right? Knowledge, patience, vitality, and communication, right? So satanama. And the other part to this is, and I will let you know, I will be watching my clock because I set a timer for this one. We'll do it aloud for a while in your normal voice, and then we'll go down to a quiet whisper, but still audible. Then I'll ask you to continue, but do it silently. I'll bring you back to the whisper and then back to out loud. All right, so you don't have to worry about it. I'll keep track of the clock, and I'll let you know when it's time to change. Okay? All right. So let's begin. Take a full deep breath in. Satanama. 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 Whisper. Satanama. 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 Quiet, silently. Continue with the mudra. Continue with mouthing the mantra. Whisper. Satanama. 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 Aloud. Satanama. 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 Inhale and stretch those arms up overhead. Wiggle the fingers, the arms, the hands. Shake it out. Wiggle the whole body. Bring the hands to rest down on top of the thighs. Close the eyes softly. Just again, tuning into the effects. I always feel a little buzzy, kind of like a really calm alert. In that meditation that we did, we only did the 6-minute variation, but you can do 11 or even 30. It becomes even more powerful. Please join the hands in Anjali Mudra, palm against palm, bowing chin to your chest. Always taking a moment for gratitude as we close. And gratitude to yourself for taking this time for you today. And I thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.